Hello, everyone. Before I get into this podcast, I would first like to wish everyone a happy holidays and a happy new year as well. But before we get into it, I just wanted to ask if you could please support this podcast by subscribing either on YouTube or on whatever audio platform you listen to this podcast on. If you like the podcast, please leave a like or leave a good review. I'd really appreciate the support. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy the podcast. All right. So, hello, everyone, and welcome back. This is the Echols Unlimited Podcast. I'm your host, Terrence Echols, and today I have the privilege of talking to Joe Morgan. Joe, how you doing today?
How's it going, Terrence? Thanks for having me, man.
Of course. And I know you're really excited to be on here. I'm excited to have you. First and foremost, this is your first Zoom meeting, which is insane to me. Like, I don't understand how you've gone so long without using Zoom. This has basically been like the way I've communicated for the past 9 months. But what is the pandemic been like for you?
So I guess I've had the privilege of being an essential worker. It's definitely a privilege to still have a solid source of income.
Right.
A lot of people don't have. But I'm an essential worker, and I work at the university, right? So I work with a lot of kids. And I remember when the first wave of the pandemic hit, people really thought it was gonna be like, all right, we go in the crib for 2 weeks and then we're back out, everything's all good. And so then it came where SU was like, all right, all the students, you have to leave this week. We don't know what the heck is going on. You got to get out. And so all their parents came up from Long Island, from Massachusetts, from the city to move out their kids. And it was literally me. This is before we even had real PPE. We had the masks. We didn't have the shields or nothing.
Yeah.
Parents coming up within 6 feet of me, just I'm here to take my son home, and but luckily, this is the craziest thing. Luckily, after all that time, we do security in the dorm side. I don't know if I said that.
Right.
All that time, we just got our first case in our office. I don't know if I was supposed to say that.
Hey.
All right, but we just got our first case in the office last week, 2 weeks ago. So we were all super blessed to have not really come in contact with the virus at all, because we are a very small office.
Right.
But, those people, whoever was in contact with the virus, they were obviously followed all the CDC guidelines. Quarantined, got tested before they returned back. Other than that, so I haven't really had to be on Zoom because I didn't have to have meetings with my bosses via Zoom. We were in a 4-person office, so we were coming to work every day. Everyone was not sick. Everyone was safe. And for instance, my girlfriend, she works from home all the time. And
right.
So a lot of the things that you're man, I've been inside for so long, I can't wait to da-da-da. I'm I kind of lucky because I have my coworkers still. I get to leave the house, change scenery. So that's what it's been like for me. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you've stayed safe and stayed healthy during this time. So why don't you start off by just telling everyone a little bit about yourself? Who are you? What do you do? I know you already mentioned you work at Syracuse and all that, but I had you on because I want to talk about some of the other stuff that you're interested in.
Of course. Yeah. So my stage moniker is OMGIMJOE. That's what I go by. That's who I am. I'm a musician. I do R&B music. It's a little bit of rap music. It's a little bit of future bass. It's kind of indie. It's very indie. Keep it real. It's very indie. I got this 80s synthwave track coming out about it's kind of before our time, but it was this website called Backpages. And so this is a little PG-13 whatever, but so the song is about the age of the dawn of the internet, kind of age of the internet, and when people first like started like like meeting people on the internet. And there used to be these pages in every city, like Binghamton back pages, Syracuse back pages, like whatever, Albany back page. And you could like literally go online and like find like women, like if you know what I'm talking about.
Oh,
So it's like falling in, yeah. So it's like it's a song about like two people falling in love off of back pages.
so
And
it's like prehistoric Tinder.
yeah, pretty much. It's like not even Tinder. It's like you order and like pay for women type thing.
Oh,
So it's just like what I'm trying to do basically with my music is just like tell like the most incredibly like wacky, wonky stories and stuff like that, and like make it sound cool. Because like that's all it's about, is just like if you can like portray a feel, if you can tell a story and make someone that is totally unrelated to somebody, but you can make that person like feel like they're part of the story, or like they have felt that before, like that's kind of my goal, you know, is to do that. So that's why I just like to make like wonky music, you know.
that's awesome. That's awesome, man. And you know, in knowing you and growing up, we went to the same high school and everything. Um, I just want like I remember you as Joe the athlete.
Yeah.
Like I was a sophomore and you were captain of the football team when you were a senior. I was a sophomore. And I remember you being insane at lacrosse as well.
Oh yeah, thanks.
So what was it like sort of like transitioning from like being an athlete to, you know, what you do today?
Yeah, dude. So that's actually so basically it started, my senior year when I was on that football team. I had lost like so much weight and I was just like trash at football after that. I was like, damn, like my future in football is gone. Like I'm not gonna be like a 195-pound nose guard playing like real college ball.
Yeah.
So I ended up going the lacrosse route and I went to Merrimack, and I got to that place playing D2 lacrosse freshman. I'm like, wow, this is so dope. All these guys are like mad cool. Yo, that place sucked. It was like basically like Lemoyne, like it was like a Jesuit school, but it was called Augustinian
Okay.
in like near Massachusetts, near Boston, kind of Massachusetts, dude, just like super New England. Like, and like the way JD lacrosse was, the way I grew up playing lacrosse was like, it's much more of like a finesse sport. Like you go, you don't like the way Archer taught us. He's like, we show up, we ball out, we go home. It's a business trip.
Right.
And like, I remember I got to Merrimack like week 2, bro. Like 2 kids literally like dropped gloves and started fighting at practice. And like our coach is like, I love it, boys. Like, and I was like, yo, like, what are you guys doing? Like, that's like your teammate. Like,
Yeah.
I think they lived with each other. You feel me? And like the coach condoned it. And bro, like my nickname on the team was Coffee Black. Like super racist shit, dude. And like I just had to get out of there, man. It was horrible. And so I was looking to transfer to places, but like I decided to leave like beginning of winter break.
Yep.
And
Okay.
I remember I got home actually off winter break, and I was just like in the car with my friends on the way to Wegmans, and I was like, guys, like I can't go back to that place.
Right.
It was the worst experience of my life. And I called the coach. And he was like, I called the coach on the way to Wegmans. He's like, if you think you're leaving just to go play at Lemoyne, like, you won't have any career. I'll blacklist you, all that shit. And like, and I was like, nah, like, that's not even it. I'm going to go to SUNY ESF, like, with the hippies. Like, I'm about to go learn about trees, you feel me? And so I went to SUNY ESF, bro. And I remember, I don't even know. Oh, the transition from athlete to musician.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got to SUNY ESF, like first part, like the first week, man, the only thing I knew about myself, like you knew about me, was I'm Joe the athlete.
Yeah.
And so like I literally wore my Merrimack like warm-up sweatsuit, like the sweatpants with the hoodie, like a week straight, bro. I swear to God, like I didn't change my clothes because I had no sense of like self-identity. And so it was like whatever day, like 4 of class, day 5 of class, there's this kid behind me. He's like in a Long Island lacrosse shirt. So I'm like, fuck, like I'll talk to this kid. Like, what's up, dude? He's like, hey, and then we got to talking. He's actually ended up being in my major. He's like, there's a party tonight at the lacrosse house, or no, excuse me, at like the soccer house for ESF. And I get there.
The ESF or the Syracuse soccer house?
The ESF soccer house.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I get there, and it's like a real like junior and seniors party. I was like, what the heck? Like, where am I? There are a couple sophomores, no, like maybe 2 freshmen, me and the kid I came with. And I walk in, there's a kid, this is literally where it began. There's a kid that I knew because his brother went to FM, his younger brother. And he walks in, he's like, oh, you're like Joe Morgan, right? Yeah, you're friends with my brother, Matt, or my brother, Mike. And I was like, oh yeah, like, what's up? He's like, I'm Matt Obedias. And then he's like, there's someone you have to meet. And bro, I'm telling you, bro, ESF was chill. Like, there wasn't too much like crazy racist shit, but I swear to God, bro, there might have been like 19, 20 black kids at ESF. Yeah. And so he like points over to his friend Weston Stroud, who is like still like my brother today. He ran for city council in Macon, Georgia. He's like doing a lot of stuff for his city there with like bike walks and urban planning and like doing like events for artists and stuff. And he's just a wonderful guy, man.
That's awesome.
And I see him across the room. He's just like, we just lock eyes. He's like, oh shit, what's up? And like, we became friends. He got me into music. He got me into doing shows. He's basically like, yo, like, let's take over this school. Let's take over both of these campuses. And like,
that's the only 2 black guys on campus.
Yeah, literally. And like, we got so popping, bro. Like, people are like, SU even started like really like getting down with us and stuff like that. And like, that's really what he's really the person I was like, yo, like, I'm like kind of good at this stuff, but like you got this. Like, you can really do this. Like, you have to continue. And so yeah, it's pretty much how it all started, man. It was so dope because I was like, you know, like, we were a crew. It was like me, Weston, my friend Matt, like all of his roommates, and my boy Pooji came like a year later, and now we're making music together. And I found my friend Lorenzo, so it was like really like being a part of like that team aspect, which is like where I think a lot of people, including myself, the easiest way to find yourself is through others. You feel me? I think because it's easier. Because like it's more of like a mirror, I guess. Like you can never like you could be in your house like doing mad good at something, you'd be like, no, I'm not a musician. But until you're bro, like someone you love is like, bro, like you're a musician. That's when it like becomes real. So like that's who I am now. That's what I do.
That's awesome, man. You know, I'm glad you made that transition. It's unfortunate you had to go through, you know, some of the racist stuff that you had to deal with playing lacrosse and all that, but you know, it is what it is. We're hoping to see a better world in the future. But I actually have a very funny story where I like now looking back on it, I'm like, damn, like, okay, I can definitely see this guy like in why he's a musician now.
Oh, what was it?
Bro, I think I was a freshman in high school. We were walking back. We had finished practice. Like I was on JV, you were on varsity.
Yeah.
We were walking back, and you know how like we would walk out of the locker room and like have to walk down that like middle area between the 2 buildings that are like right next to where the gym was. What was that?
The big gym or the little gym?
The big gym.
Oh yeah.
Locker room, and we'd have to walk down like
this. Oh, the courtyard. Yeah.
Yeah, you had to walk down that little thing. And like you guys were about to go out and practice, and like we were just coming in. And dude, you're at the front of the line and you're singing Drake's Hold On, We're Coming Home. Like just like getting into it too. Like, oh my God. You're hitting all the high notes and everything. I'm like, what am I doing?
Yo, I was into it, was I?
Yeah. And I'm like, this guy's standing at the front of the line about to go to football practice. Home.
Yo, that's funny because like that was not on my like football warm-up stuff either. I listened to 2 songs, bro, for that whole year. Yeah. I listened to Don't Like by Chief Keef. Yo, bro, I swear it's Don't Like by Chief Keef and then one other Chief Keef song. I swear to God, those are 2 songs. Macaroni Time. It's like, it's macaroni time. Oh, it's macaroni time. It's just those two
Oh, it
songs.
was just like so random. Like we're just walking back from practice, and like all of a sudden, this guy is just standing there singing this song, and I'm like, okay, like I
Yeah.
respect it because you had a good voice. I was like, okay, he's saying
Oh, thank you, bro. Thank you.
getting into the high notes. Hold on, we're coming home.
And
Okay.
I remember one year I didn't even play football, and I just did the music. I did the musical.
Oh, you did the musical at JD?
Yeah, I was in Fiddler on the Roof. I was like the dad or some shit.
No way.
First try, bro, and I was the dad.
No way. How did that go?
Dude, it was rigorous.
Yeah.
It was rigorous.
hmm Yeah, I can't imagine. They put on some good shows at that school, man. Like I respect all. Like I had once I started watching, like going to their shows and watching, like because I wasn't friends with any of the kids who did like the musicals or anything. But like
Mhm.
once I gained a newfound respect for them. Like honestly, watching them
Course.
do that, I was like, wow, that this is
Yeah,
impressive.
same here. I actually had like Carson LaRusso's older brother, Patrick. He like came in my DMs and was like, "Bro, like your voice." And I was like, "What?" I mean, so much.
Oh,
He was
that's
like a
tough.
fucking star of that shit.
That's tough.
Yeah.
So you kind of talked about, like what college was like and how you got into music. So what like are some of the artists that who maybe like inspire you and some of your favorites?
Of course, of course. So, bro, I'm telling you, like, never ever pass me an aux cord. Never, bro. It's so bad. I had to finally like start getting so like the biggest thing in like in Spotify is like playlisting and like people
Mhm.
make like playlists, and bro. That's like a godsend. I just started listening to playlists like this year because we were just in the crib so much, and
Right.
but like before that I discovered playlists. People would pass me the aux and be like, "What are you doing?" It's like I'm getting so upset with me.
Right.
But my favorite musically, my inspirations, so right, especially like in the last like what 4 or 5 years, this band, they're Australian. They're called Hiatus Coyote, spelled Kaiote, and they won like the Melbourne, like Australia's like like #1 R&B song for 2015 when I discovered them for their song Nakamura with Q-Tip, which is fire. So excuse me, their lead singers,
Like
Napalm. Huh?
called Quest Q-Tip?
Yeah, Tribe Called Quest Q-Tip.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. It's a great song. It's called Nakamura. It's about she's like this like Australian white woman. She's like really spiritual, like super heady, and the song's about like going into the desert and like being like reborn or whatever,
Okay.
like, and she's like super like the imagery she uses in her lyrics are just so heartwarming. And Q-Tip gets on it and just like kills it.
Yeah.
Other than that, um, I was just thinking about this the other day. Another inspiration for my music kind of is also like what's going on around me. Like I'm in a group, and like my friend, he doesn't make R&B music, but he like played a lot on my album, and his name's Aaron Rizzo. He's super inspiring to me. Uh,
hmm
and then like this kind of new wave of like alternative pop,
Okay.
and but it's not like alternative pop where it's like alternative like emo type like sad boy stuff
Right.
where you have like your Juice Worlds. It's more of like the really smooth like Kali Uchis, like this guy called Black Party out in LA. Like his stuff is just so smooth.
hmm
Um Moses Sumney, crazy. I discovered him like 2018, and then I just saw his like song in Euphoria. And I feel like if you get your song in Euphoria, like
Yeah. That's
there's so much. I think Drake does no. Who's this? I think it was Drake and um I forget his name. Some like really talented British producer guy like doing that soundtrack, and it's just like mind blowing. Like,
Right. Did the soundtrack to Euphoria?
yeah, I think it was Drake and like someone else. I forget his name, man. Like the other guy. Not. I don't want to say like Tiny Tempo or something like that, but it's not him. Some other British guy. Oh snap! Yeah, but that soundtrack is insane. So
Dude, you
my,
mentioned, what'd you say?
those are my influences right now for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You mentioned Kali Uchis. I love her song with Tyler the Creator. Obviously,
Oh yeah, I think it's a tyrant or something. It's like, Cali, what you mean? You know I'm the
yeah,
hot boy on the scene. Yeah, yeah.
she did. I like that.
Oh, After the
I don't
Storm.
know
After the
any
Storm.
other songs with them on it. I'm gonna look at my Spotify. I'm gonna go to my likes and see if I have any other songs by her.
Oh, another big inspiration for me recently. Another JD grad, Dom Shigitano. He has a couple projects with this rapper called 3DM Ransom. And bro, because he reminds me of Currency. That's who I was trying to think of. As far as it comes when it comes to rap, bro, like Currency is my favorite rapper of all time.
Currency?
Yeah,
I've
bro.
never heard of this dude. I'm around.
Oh, he's a legend. I can listen to him all the time because it's just like you know what you're gonna get from him.
Mhm.
Never and like it's like usually my go-to vibe. He just raps about like smoking weed and like old cars, like classic cars, big Louis
Pretty
Vuitton.
chill stuff, honestly.
Yeah, and like I don't even smoke weed, like I never could.
Yeah.
But like, bro, I'm telling you, for some reason, like listening to people like rap about smoking weed and chilling is like just such a vibe.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's definitely like something to be said about like listening to music that you like probably can't relate to. Like
Mm,
you listen like the generic sort of stereotype when it comes to rap music. It's all about like drug dealing and stealing and killing, and like half the people who listen to rap music have probably never like experienced drugs, like have never seen someone get killed, like never even seen a gun, like you know what I mean? And it's
yeah,
like the it's the biggest genre in America right now. And it's like I don't know, there's probably just something to be said for like the fact that people, you know, can listen to stuff and enjoy music and art that they probably just don't relate to.
yeah. Well, it goes back to what I was saying earlier. Like, I like to make like it's all about like storytelling and like people want to be able to like put themselves in like other people's shoes for a second, and like
Right.
when you can have like 17, 18-year-old white boys singing like Murder on My Mind on the way to
Yeah.
Wegmans. Like that's all they want. They just want to be like, bro, like I feel so black right now. Like, you know what I mean, bro? That's literally why like it's the biggest genre, because you're like, fuck, like my parents are so annoying. Like, what's the exact opposite? Like
Mhm.
rap music, it's dope. But like, and like I always say, like, too, another thing about music, which is crazy, is like, all right, so we've pretty much like with every song in existence, we've pretty much like talked about every like emotional topic that there is to talk about in music.
Right.
But then, like it's kind of reaching like a max capacity, like a carrying capacity for like what we can talk about in music. Because I feel like we've talked about it all since Beethoven. You feel me? And and like but the reason why you can like always like repeat the same motifs and the same ideas in music is because based on like other people's backgrounds or the way people say things, like you never know, like we could say that the same things in the same thing in two different ways and like affect two different people or three different
Mhm.
people, so that's why you can never like stop repeating the same things in music. It's very important.
Right. Right. I agree exactly. So what are some of the other like hobbies that you do? You know, you mentioned
uh
like do you still play any sports? Like do you still like to hang out and do, you know, stuff that besides music?
yeah, so I played club at SU, like even though I didn't go to school there.
Right.
I played last year even while I was an employee, but I was still on the team. Like, So I was doing that. Wow. I guess if I'm not making music, I'm making other people's music. But
What goes into that? You're producing or engineering?
yeah, I'll produce, mix, master, engineer, things like
Okay.
that. So I guess like something people don't know a lot about me is like I like manage rental properties, and I like own a rental property. That's something that people don't know about me that I've been doing since high school with my pops.
Wait, do you want to know something that's crazy?
But
I think my dad's a realtor.
yeah.
I think my dad has worked with your dad.
Oh, 100%. I 100% believe it.
Yeah.
What's your dad's name?
Larry.
Larry?
Yeah.
Word, Larry Echols. I asked my dad, but they definitely like 100% work together.
Yeah. No, I bet. Because I think he's mentioned the fact. He's mentioned something about that.
Yeah.
About like that he had a son, like someone he was working with he was talking, and he's like, oh yeah, my son went to JD. He's like, oh, my son went to JD. Maybe they knew each other. So like I think my dad mentioned that to me one time, and I was like, wait, what's the guy's name? And I think he said his name was like Joe or something.
Yeah, Joe Tunamasico. Probably
Mhm.
that. Yeah. Yeah, my dad's worked with so many people. I remember when I was a kid, my friend Teo, he was like, yeah, my dad's like a real estate lawyer.
Mhm.
And I like told my dad, and they've been homies for like over a decade, bro, since like I was in like 4th grade.
Oh, that's dope.
It's so funny.
So what do you like about managing rental properties?
Oh, that's the name of the game, man. Like that passive income is the name of the game, bro. Like, and I just want to be able to grow that, and like, I mean, it's kind of like a family business, so like, I want to make sure, like, I can do that when I get older. Not like
Absolutely.
know how to do it,
Yeah.
because it's always nice to have something to fall back
Right.
on.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's like you mentioned, it's like it's a key to the game, and as we see like more and more people get involved with it. I love to see young Black men and Black people in general just get involved with something as lucrative as real estate.
Yeah.
It's
Absolutely.
something that we should definitely take advantage of. I know my dad has taught me a lot about the ins and outs, and I plan to get started in that once I build up a little bit of capital first. But
I feel that. I feel that. Yo, well, maybe we'll be going into business together. I'd be so down, bro.
no,
Where Marist is downstate, right?
yeah, man. Yeah.
Maybe we could get some trips downstate. You feel me? Have a little getaway.
Down here they go for a little bit higher than in Syracuse for sure.
Of course, I believe it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so, what are some of like your aspirations for your music?
For my music? Oh, absolutely. So another thing about the pandemic, which is just like crazy, is like I got into music and like I fell in love with performing. I love to perform, man. Like some people really like to just be behind the computer, like headphones on, like vibing out. Like I love to perform, man. Like the energy of performing, and like, bro, like it's cool. Like I was like cool. Like I fucked with it heavy. Like why wouldn't you?
Right.
And I loved to actually like give the people what they want,
Right.
like, it's a real thing. And I was blessed enough to like at ESF/SU, like there's on the day before Mayfest, which is like the big festival in May where there's music and stuff. The day before, there's this thing called the Red Fest, and like basically it's like a block party. And SU people are welcome, but it's mostly ESF people. And I remember my sophomore year, like it was like 1,000 kids, bro. And so the way it was, bro, I swear to God, the way it is like there's these 2 houses on Redfield Place, and they share a driveway, and then they have like a giant combined backyard.
Okay.
And what we'll do is like, and both the houses have wraparound porches.
Oh wow. Okay.
And like the wraparound porches meet the edge of the driveway.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like wings of a stage, and then we like we make like a flush like stage to like where the corners of the porches meet in the driveway, and then the driveway is a stage. And then we put up a big like tarp so you can't see into the backyard, and then we just stuff it with people for like $5 because it goes to charity, bro. And like I'm telling you, bro, like people are stage diving, like bro, like crowd surfing. People are like on the roofs of the houses, like on the balconies, like in the port, bro. It's just like flooding with people. And like I like all 4 years I headlined that show.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, and like bro, like when could you ever say like you've done that, like besides like college enough? So like I loved performing, and with the pandemic, like now like I've been like, what am I even doing this for, man? And like I always forget, I'm like, oh, like it's because I can't perform. That's why it sucks. Like, dude, that's why it sucks. Like, oh my God. Like, I love making music. I was like, why is this not fun?
Right. Yeah. I saw you did an IG live like last week. You're like, hey guys, we're just gonna start rapping, and then you just like went off and you guys did your thing.
Yeah, bro. And like that, I haven't really been on the Zoom. I haven't really been on like live and stuff because I'm like, I haven't really experienced the pandemic full on. Like a lot of people, especially students, like especially people that work from home, like, like things like basically it just feels like I like normal life, except like I don't have as many friends. That's really what it feels like. Because I'm going to work, I'm going to the grocery store, I need to go. Like I'm a gym user, and I come home. Like besides, and I have like like my same quarantine group. Like one of them works with me at SU, so we get tested every week. And the other one like basically lives alone. He like works at a restaurant where there's a lot of old people, so he's like super cautious. So I'm like, what? Like I have my 2 best friends, and like I go to work, I'm good. Like what is the pandemic? So yeah, I went on live for the first time. My boy was like, dude, we should really do this. I was like, all right, whatever, let's do it. And I did it, and I was like, oh my God, like this was so fun. Like I think we hit like 10 people max at once for the first go. I was like, damn, that's crazy. So we hit that, and like people were in it, and people like gave us the feedback, and it was really nice, man.
No, that's great. That's great. Hey, one of these days, man, that 10 is going to turn to 15, and then it's going to turn to 20, and then 50, 100, and then like you never know where it could go from there, bro.
Yeah, I'm hoping, bro. I'm gonna keep at it.
Absolutely. And it's kind of funny how you mentioned like how you love performing, like performing is like your thing. And like I don't remember, like I wouldn't say like you were a class clown, but I just remember you being like the funny guy.
Oh, bro, I got class clown from my college. Like when they're doing the things at the end of school, like best, like most likely to be there. I got class clown, bro, and I like, dude, I was so happy, bro, when I got that, because you know what it is, Terrence, is that like, yo, you have people, and like all the power to them. Like you have people like with their head in their books, and they like get good grades, like they get their grades, and like they go home. Like that's where it stops and starts. And like I just wanted to prove like like I guess like I just wanted to prove that you can be like a clown and like do good, bro. Like you know, like nothing is that serious, bro. You feel me? Like as long as you're a bright and like smart person, like you understand your limits of like, oh, how do you understand how you work. You understand your limits, you understand your maximums, like, and as long as you have that to play with, like, you can be as goofy as you want, but as long as you know how to do the homework at the end of the day, like, you're good. Exactly. That's like nothing is that serious, bro. Nothing is that serious.
Yeah, like I just remember like you just yell random stuff in the locker room, just like hanging out. You're just always like a happy, fun guy, and like
yeah, I tried, bro. I tried.
And that was like something I'm like that makes sense how you like are a performer, and like that's like your natural thing,
Yeah, I truly think so. And like my mom, she's passed away, but she always like she like always wanted to have a son that's like a pastor, a preacher. Like, bro, like it's just so perfect, it's so divine, because like the fact that I get to use my voice to like portray like any kind of message. is like fulfilling kind of like that dream in a different way. So I really, yeah.
Oh, that's great, man. That's great. And you mentioned your mom wanting you to be a pastor. Like, are you spiritual in any way?
Mm, it's like a touchy subject because like, right, there's like so much different like jargon behind that where people could
Right.
maybe get offended or something. Like, so I it's hard to talk about, but other people be like, all right, like, oh, you're spiritual, like, but I definitely, bro, like after my mom passed away, like, bro, like I definitely believed in heaven after that.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Because I don't know if anyone on here that's listening has had that happen, or if you've had that happen. But yo, like what, like a week later, and this is like really personal. Like she came to like me in my dream, and I was like, oh, like
That's awesome.
that's like heaven, whatever. So
That's awesome,
yeah,
man. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for you and that you lost your mom, but that's great. That you have that to hold on to and that to know that she's in a better place and everything.
of course, I believe that for everybody, right? So yeah.
Absolutely. So I have little notes that I've written down over the past like week or so. I've been following, like, knowing that we were going to do this podcast. I've been like I've been looking at like your social media like a little bit closer, right? So a couple nights ago, or a couple nights ago, you posted on your Instagram story. You said, "I worked on my fave record to date with someone named Danny." And
Oh yeah.
night, what can you say about that?
Yo, oh my god, man. The song is so tight. It's like, so he's like going through it right now, like with his girl, you feel me? And I'm sorry, Danny, for blasting you right now on Zoom. But so he's been really like finding his peace through music.
Mm-hmm.
And making music. So he's like, Joe, I want you to help me. Like, I got this little project I put together. And Danny and I, we performed a lot in college. He went to college with me.
Okay.
And he was also in a band. And bro, like we'd be playing in like the basements and shit, bro. Like 100 people in the basement. It's super fire hazards. You feel me? Danny would always be in the basement playing with his band Smiles for Miles. And then, Bike Lanes on Euclid after that. So he came through. He's been like playing his guitar and like singing, and it's really simple stuff, but this one's called, it's about the girl.
Oh, okay.
It says her name in it, you feel me? And like
Okay.
the lyrics and the way we made it sound and the harmonies, just like, oh, like pulling my heartstrings, dude. Oh man, it was probably one of my favorite, like including like the stuff on my album, bro. Like this could be one of my favorite songs I've ever been a part of.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, super hype.
That's great. And that was all I really like. That's all I really like pulled from your social media recently.
Yeah. I don't really be on that.
Right, exactly. But you did you grow up in Syracuse?
Yeah, I grew up in Janesville.
Jamesville?
Yeah.
Okay. So, being down here at Marist in like the Hudson Valley and downstate area, I find myself having to defend or to talk about upstate central New York, because I talk about it like it's one of the greatest places on earth,
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah, it is, dude. It is. What?
Snow in the winter and then 80-degree weather in the summer, and then the best fall foliage and all of that other stuff, that's unique about Syracuse, New York, and upstate New York. What are some of your favorite things about the area and being from central New York?
Oh, bro, it's like definitely the best part about central New York is that, all right, so like if you live in wherever, like downstate New York, right? Like, okay, so are there like downtown areas similar to Syracuse with like taller buildings and stuff like that? Or it's just like big, huge, like suburban, like kind of like Erie boulevards.
Yeah, so where I am in Poughkeepsie, the downtown area here, like the buildings aren't very high, like you obviously get like a city feel in the city of Poughkeepsie, but it's not like something like Syracuse with like the big buildings.
All right, so so what I was gonna say is that like so we get to have like downtown like big buildings, like like big school town vibes, like one of the best hospitals in the country. You feel me? Like, and then like you literally hop on like 81 to 690 to 481, get off exit 3, you're in Jamesville in the country on a four-wheeler, bro. You're looking at horses in the same 10 miles you're looking at downtown. You feel me? And so like you can't get that anywhere else. You can't get that in Poughkeepsie because it's like 45 minutes until you get to the farms.
That's so true.
30 minutes, 40 minutes till you get out there. And I'm like, no, like I can literally go hunting, snowboarding, and then be in the studio in like the same like hour.
Right. That's so true, bro. Because like when I go on a drive here in Poughkeepsie, it's like 20 minutes, 30 minutes to get somewhere. And that's like a normal drive. 30 minutes in Syracuse and upstate New York, that's like a long drive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm thinking like back to like high school and like middle school and stuff. Like I grew up by the high school, like sort of like the DeWitt Fayetteville area. And like I remember going to a friend's house who lived all the way in Jamesville, which is like 15 minutes away tops.
Yeah.
Like my parents would be like, Are you gonna sleep over? Because we don't want to have to come drive that far. Late at night, you know? And it's like, you know, that's like 15 minutes away. Whereas like if you're here, like it's 15 minutes to get to the grocery store. Like it's ridiculous. And then what I hate the most about Poughkeepsie, granted, I love Poughkeepsie. I love being here. It's been the best 4 years of my life here.
I'm happy for you, man.
All the other stuff, you know. But the traffic is something I will never be able to understand or get used to, you know? Like, where are all these people coming from? Why is like every road, like it's just packed full of people at every hour of the day, you know? It's like in Syracuse, you can drive some places and you will see like maybe 4 cars.
Literally.
You can go, especially at a certain time of night in Erie Boulevard, like you can.
You hit all the green lights at once?
Yeah,
of course, bro.
I don't mean endorsing speeding or anything, but you could Boulevard,
Sadly though, it's because of so that's like the I-81 viaduct's like main reason for its existence is because we're such a commuter city that like people need to be able to like zoom through Syracuse. Because they're coming from Liverpool, they're coming from Cicero, they're coming from Fayetteville, they're coming from Jamesville, and they're working in like other towns, or they're working in the city. So they just got to be able to get. That's why there's only like 3 exits into the city. I feel like there's Adams Street, Harrison, there's West Street, and then there's like, I guess you could say Teal on 690, and then there's the Court Street exit. There's really only like 4, and then you got Brighton on the south side. So there's like maybe like 8 exits to get into Syracuse, and none of them are downtown.
Yeah.
So like it's all for like commuting, or to get. It's like you get to the hill, you get out to like the suburbs, and like maybe you got a couple in the city. So like, that's why there's never traffic.
Yeah.
And like that's why the city's also failing, because there's no traffic. Like no one's going into the city. So so that's why that's probably a blessing Poughkeepsie has that traffic.
I mean the city here in Poughkeepsie isn't too like. I think the city in Syracuse is doing better than the city here in Poughkeepsie, honestly. But I think the big thing is a lot of people who are in Poughkeepsie commute to the New York City.
Yeah, to New York. Well, that's like within an hour, is it?
It's like it's like about hour 20, hour and a half if you take the train. If you're driving in, about same hour 20, hour and a half. Like we played at Manhattan this weekend in the Bronx, and it took us about an hour 20 to get there.
Yeah.
So it's not a bad commute, and especially like if you get on the Metro North, it'll take you right into the city. Either I think Metro North will take you to Grand Central. Yeah. So it'll take you right to Grand Central. So, you know, I think that's a big part of, you know, what Poughkeepsie is. and all that. But are you still big into snowboarding? Because I know
Dude,
that.
I was actually, when you're talking about my hobbies, bro,
Yeah.
it's so funny you brought it up. I just went yesterday,
Okay.
and I think I tore my MCL.
No, are you serious?
Yeah, I'm going to SOS with Mr. Axelrod tonight at like 4, bro.
Oh my gosh.
My shit is stiff, it's swollen, bro.
Yeah.
As soon as it happened, cause like, bro, like I'm so blessed. I played so many sports
Right.
and never injured myself, not once. I got a concussion, and that's a big injury. But that was like 8th grade. You feel me? And so like, like I've seen so many friends like just go down to the knee injuries, and so like hearing them describe it and everything, I was like, all right, I feel like I kind of know what it's like. And then, bro, like I just stumbled yesterday, and I just felt like this intense like pain, just like in my left side, the inside of my knee, and I was like, oh, that's it. That's it. There goes my MCL.
Hey man, I hope it's nothing too bad. I hope it's not, like a torn MCL or something. Hopefully it's like a sprain, but I hate to hear that.
Yeah.
But I know that snowboarding is like a big thing for you because I know you used to post snowboarding pictures on social media,
All the time.
videos and stuff.
I wanted to be pro. That was my dude. I was like playing lacrosse, and like Archer would be like, dude, you gotta stop snowboarding. I was like, nah, my main sport. It's my second sport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get that for sure. Yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to hit and talk about? Especially like you can plug like some of your music and stuff right now.
This is the time for that right now.
Heck yeah.
Thanks, man. So my name's OMGIMJOE again, and just wanted to say I got my album out now, The Myth of Fitting In, on all streaming platforms. And my Instagram is OMGIMJOE 2.0. I just want to say, keep a heads up because I'm doing something I've never done before, which is I'm doing a fashion release in conjunction or in collaboration with this student at Syracuse University named Jaded Forever on Instagram, and this shit's gonna be dope. We got our first drop coming out like middle of January. We're doing 13 custom like one of one hats.
Okay.
And they're gonna be dropping with a song I have a snippet of on my Instagram called Junie Blooming. So okay. it's gonna be awesome. And then
I've heard the snippet. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's the one where I'm on the couch, it's like a little there's like chill summer vibe, like whatever. So something different. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. And that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Dude, okay. All right, before we finish, I just want to talk about like some of your like what you think about creatively for your music videos, like, or not even for your music videos, but when you like post your stuff, because like I see you and the guy that wears like the tube sock on his head and like
the guy that wears the tube. Oh yeah. He wears the ski mask. Yeah. Doctors. Yeah.
I him, and then like you guys are like just sitting holding hands on the top of a hill. Like, where does the inspiration, what is the creative direction come from that? Because like on the one that I forget, I don't know the names of your songs. I'm sorry.
Look at my head, look at my bed. I was like,
yes.
Yeah. It's called the Shag remix. Okay.
But yeah, where does the creative like direction come? Like, what requires you to do that?
So that concept wasn't mine.
Okay.
That was Doctors. They're these dope guys from Michigan that we became friends with. And shout out to them because their new EP just got picked up by like a record label. It's not a major. It's like a subsidiary of a major. But I'm happy for them. But they had the idea of like holding hands, all one take of a video. It's all one take. And then I was like, yo, you know where we should do it? It's like I got this perfect spot because like, you get the grass and you get the horizon and the sky. You don't get like anything else, which I think is like such a dope look. You don't get any of the trees. It's actually at Thornton Park.
Oh, Thornton. Okay.
Yeah. So that was the idea. That was all him. That was all Doctors.
That's awesome. And it's like you guys are just sitting there and like you're bopping your head, and then like all of a sudden he like pulls out his phone and like starts playing it. I was like, oh, this is kind of dope. Like, this is kind of dope.
Dude, they're so wavy. Bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, and like we were talking before this, because like when I first listened to your music, I thought like you were just, oh, this is Joe. He's the funny guy. He's making funny songs. You're sitting on a toilet in one song. I'm not even gonna talk about,
Yeah.
what it was, but you're just sitting on a toilet like rapping, and I'm like, oh, like this is something you don't normally see. You know what I mean? Like normally you see someone like walking around just like rapping and stuff like that, but like your stuff is like different, and I really enjoy like looking at new content and new inspiration and stuff like that, because like it's definitely you being true to yourself and being true to being unique, which is the best quality in an artist, in my opinion.
No, thank you, man. Dude, it's just like I'm trying to just like be bold, bro. Like we don't have, like, if you don't know if like this music stuff's ever gonna work. So it's
Yeah.
like you might as well just do like the craziest thing, bro. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm definitely I'm bringing back the nudity for another music video coming up soon. Yeah, bro. It's gonna be so fire, bro. Like,
Oh God,
the internet,
I'm
bro.
gonna watch it like this.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, dude, it's the shock value.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, you're always like, yo, what is Joe gonna say next in class? Like, you know what I mean? And so it's like the shock value, bro. It's like I'm done like just doing stuff that's not shocking. Yeah. It's like, I don't know, did you ever listen to Odd Future?
Not like not really. Like obviously I'm a Tyler fan, but like mostly
You
like
never watched him eat the
Flower
cockroach, right?
Boy, Igor Tyler, not really like before anything like that. No.
So you never watched him like eat the cockroach on like a music video?
No.
Yeah, bro, it's like that kind of stuff that I just saw and I was like, what?
Yeah.
Or like there's this Earl Sweatshirt's music video for, I think it was like the song Earl.
Mhm.
Something like that. They like drink this thing, they called it like death juice in like their Instagram stuff, or in their interviews and shit. But it's like fake, obviously. Like make this mixture of like drugs and stuff and drink it, and then like Earl's like teeth fall out in the video, and he's like bleeding from his dude, and it's just shocking as fuck. But it's like this stuff that just like that got them famous was doing the craziest stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to do.
That's awesome. Hey man, I'm gonna keep supporting you.
Thank
I know
you.
you're doing dope stuff. I know you're a great guy.
Thank you, brother.
Make some dope content.
Yeah.
You already plugged everything. Just be on the look. Everyone who's listening and watching, please be on the lookout for this man, Joe Morgan, Joe. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Pleasure having you on. Anything else you'd like to say?
I just want to say thank you back to you, man. And it's so awesome seeing you since high school and going to college and just finding your own like way to create. Like this is creativity too, bro. Like the art of conversation is being lost in these times of like COVID, bro, and being inside. So just like this means so much, dude. And it's so nice for me as well to talk to you, bro. Appreciate it.
Appreciate that. Thank you so much. And thank you guys for watching and listening. And this has been the Echols Unlimited Podcast.
Later.